Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to my channel Running with Scissors. In today's video, I'm bringing you back the fabric wheel of fate. I've picked 8 fabrics to put on the wheel, and we're going to spin it and see what I will be sewing up next. Don't go away. Last year I did this, and it was great fun. I think it was fun for the ones watching, and it was fun for me too, because you never knew what was going to come up. And sometimes I had an idea what I wanted to make with the fabric, and other times I had no clue and had to come up with something. And that's the beauty of it. Get some fabric that you're not sure what to do, or why did I buy it in the first place, and come up with something. And usually it's pretty successful. So what I did was, I had mentioned in my previous video, I put fabric over here that had never been cut. I had large pieces of it, and I had fabric over down on this shelf that had been cut already, and they were remnants. A lot of it in there are fabrics for more spring and summer, so I had to kind of look around to see what I could find. So the first fabric I'm going to use is something you may recognize. This was from that Beyond the Pink Door subscription box. I know that Karen from KGFL Creations, she made a really pretty jacket with it. And I believe Izzy from Dizzy Quilts and Sews, she lined it. I can't remember if it was a bag or a pouch, but she used it as a lining. So that's going to be on it. The next thing, kind of looks like a sweater knit. That was my idea. I actually was thinking maybe a cardigan, but I really like it. But it's a sweater knit. I've had that a while and haven't done anything with it. The next thing is this. It's kind of a brush knit, brush poly, kind of a purple. And I do have an idea of what I want to do with this. I've made a couple dresses from this particular pattern. I think it's a Butterick pattern, and I was thinking of doing that again. But you never know. Once I get it, I may find something else to use with it. And then I've got 3 yards of this plaid. I believe this fabric came from the lady I bought all those bags of fabric on Craigslist. I think this was from that. I don't think it came from the estate sale. But there's 3 yards. I even measured it and wrote it down. I got 3 yards of that. And I thought, I need to make something. All of these to me are more wintry, heavier type fabrics to make for winter time. Okay, then I've got some fabric that I've cut. Now I've got this. It's another type of a sweater knit. Very pretty. I'll have to wait and see how much I have and what I can do with it. I will tell you, I made a sweater with this. And one of these days, I'm going to have to do a video on what I made with it, because I do not like it. I wore it one time, and I've not worn it since. I've tried it on a time or two to see if I still don't like it, and I don't like it. And the pattern, I got rid of it. I don't know, other people have used that pattern and they like it a lot, but it just didn't work for me. But I really like this. And as I mentioned, I'd like to maybe do a video on that sweater I made with this, and maybe see if there's something I can do with it, maybe to adjust it or alter it or do something, because it's such pretty fabric. I ordered this online. I don't remember where it came from, and it's too pretty a fabric for that sweater to be hanging in my closet. I need to do something with it. So that's next. Now here's one. I have no clue what I'm going to do with it. It's a plaid fleece. So that should be interesting. Need to pick things that you're not sure. And I'm pretty sure this came from the Craigslist haul as well. Then I have this. I chose this because I wasn't sure what to do with it. It's kind of a knit. It's not especially stretchy. Got a little bit, but not a lot. So I'm not sure, but I thought I'd try and get rid of that. And then the last thing I'm going to put on the wheel, is this brown corduroy. Got quite a bit of it. I actually made a jumper or pinafore out of it, and I love it. It's got patch pockets, and it just came out really, really cute. And I thought maybe I could do something with that. I don't think there's enough to make pants, but we'll see what I can do with that. So that's what I'm going to put on the wheel. Now, last year when I did the wheel, I just gave each fabric a number, and I put the numbers, I think I did 10 last time, 1 through 10 on the wheel, and so when it spun, it come up number 3, number 4, and then I have to go to my list to see what it was. This time I decided instead of putting a number, I put a description of the fabric. That way when I spin it, it'll come up with plaid. I'm calling this plaid. I'm calling this one blue sweater. I'm giving each one a name. I'm calling the one from the pink door, I'm calling that the pink door cord. The red sweater. Anyway, I gave them names so that way when I spin it and it comes up on the wheel, we'll know exactly what the fabric is without having to go and look at my list. So that's what I'm going to do. I've already got them loaded on my wheel. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to go ahead and spin it. It's going to choose a fabric. Then I'm going to do something with it. And then I will come back after I'm done and we'll add it to the video. So when you watch this video, you're going to see the fabrics, you're going to see the spin, you're going to see what came up, and then 2 seconds later, you're going to see what I made with it. That way you don't have to wait a week or so to find out what I made. And everybody seemed to like that idea, got a lot of good comments, and everybody's liked that, and I do too. I like when someone says, you know, here's what I'm going to make, or here's what I'm planning on making with this, and then you have to wait a while. This way you find out immediately, and that's what I plan on doing. So I'm going to get my computer ready, and we're going to spin it, and we're going to see which of these 8 fabrics I will be doing next. Okay, as you can see, I've loaded the fabrics on my wheel, and I named them. I am going to go ahead and give it a shuffle. I like to do that. I don't know that it makes any difference, but we'll see. Let's go up here and I'll go shuffle. And let's go ahead and spin. It's the blue knit. The blue knit. Okay. Well, here's the fabric. The blue knit. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll just have to spread it out, see how much I have, and figure out what to do with it. As I said, it doesn't have a whole lot of stretch to it, but I'll come up with something. In a way, it's kind of good to get this one out of the way. The one you have the least idea of what to make with it. So that's what it's going to be. I'll find something, and the next time you see me on this video, I will have picked something out to make, and I'll show you what I make. So don't go away. I'll be right back. Well, I'm back. I'm not wearing it yet. I want to show it to you and explain a few things about it before I try it on and model it for you. Well, I spent a couple of days trying to figure out what to do with this fabric. Remember, I told you that it didn't have a lot of stretch. Here's what I have left. Not a whole lot left. It didn't have a lot of stretch to it. So I went through my patterns and trying to think, what should I make with it? And finally, I just went with the easiest route. I think it was the easiest. I just went ahead and made a Love Notions classic tee. I did it all in one day. I printed up the pattern, I cut it out, I laid it on my fabric, I cut it out, sewed it up all in one day, because this is a really easy one to do. What I did do was, because there wasn't a whole lot of stretch or give in it, I normally use a size large. And I went ahead and cut it in an extra large, so that way it wouldn't be too tight. And that really was the right decision. And then on the sleeve, at first I thought there wouldn't be enough to make long sleeves, and but it turned out there was. I'm going to pop in a couple of pictures too of how I had it laid out. But I cut it, this part here in the extra large, and on the sides I did a 2X. If you've watched my other videos, you know that this arm is a little bit bigger because of the lymph nodes that were removed 20 years ago. And I didn't want this sleeve to be too tight, so I just give a little extra room on the sleeve. And that was a right decision to make too. Also, I'm going to show you a picture of the fabric before I cut it out. Do you ever have fabric that's so wide that when you lay it on the fold and you have two pieces, both the back and the front have to be cut on the fold, and if you cut it on the fold that they already have, you've used up all the fold. This was wide enough that you can open up your fabric and then take either end and fold it in on itself. And I'll show you a picture of that. And that way you've got two folds and they fit just perfectly. And then after I cut that out and the neckband out, then I had another piece and I laid it out, and I did have enough to cut long sleeves, which is what I wanted to begin with. So here's what I made. It's real simple. It's just a very simple, t-shirt. I used my cover stitch machine. It works really well. The one thing I still need to learn to get better at is when you're done is pulling it off the machine. I've watched videos. I've read my book. Some will say do it this way. Some will say do it another way. Because when you pull it off, it's supposed to pull the threads to the back and knot it for you. I've had that happen, and the next time I do it, it doesn't do that. With a cover stitch machine, it doesn't back stitch. Not like your regular sewing. You can back stitch and kind of, set the stitches in. But anyway, that's what I made. I'll go ahead and put it on so you can see it on me, and that my first make of my fabric Wheel of Fate. Be right back. Okay, I stood up on a stool so you get a better look. Here it is. Let me turn around. I think it came out pretty good. I was kind of worried about what to make with this fabric, but sometimes just going simple is the best thing to do. And I think in this case, just a simple Love Notions tee was the way to go. I thought it came out really nice. And I'm glad I went up a size because it's not too tight. It's not too tight in the arms, and I think it'll be just fine for wearing around the house or anywhere. It's not too heavy, so I'll get too hot in it, but it's just enough warmth when it's cold, because we had snow here in my area. It snowed all night last night, and we have got snow, and it is in the 20s, and it is cold. So anyway, so there you go. My very first make on the second edition of my fabric Wheel of Fate. The next time I do one, I will be spinning the wheel again and making something that you'll be able to see right away. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to check out Carol from Sew Carol. She has made her first spin on her fourth edition of the fabric Wheel of Fate. So make sure you watch that, and then she'll be back in a few days or next week with what she makes with the fabric that her wheel told her to make. That's the beauty of it. You don't know what to make. You keep bypassing fabric, and when the wheel speaks, you must answer and you must do it. And it usually works out pretty well. So I'll see you next time. I'd love it if you would subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Take care. God bless. Goodbye.